The next chunk that needs to be added to allow these objects to explode is to realize we're not going to make the object get removed when it gets clicked on. Instead, we have to tell the object to listen for when it has reached its final frame. Because currently, if I run this, we see that the objects, when they come in, are just playing all of their frames. But we don't want them to play in the beginning. So when an enemy gets created, up in the create enemy function, we need to say enemy.stop. So we need to tell the enemy, hey, by the way, don't play. That's step one. So now that will keep the enemy from going through its frame. See, now they look, whoa, that's a hefty amount coming in quickly. Now they look the way they looked before. So, but we know there's frames hiding there, and we want to see those. So when I click on it, I can say e.target.play. So I can tell that enemy to play. So now, if I run this, and they come in, if I click on them, and you can see how they just keep playing. So it's not quite right, but it's closer. It works until I click on them, and then they just go completely bonkers. So we need to take care of that. So we can tell the enemy to play. But then we need to tell enemy, hey, can you listen for when you're done with your frames? And when you're done, then get rid of yourself. Tell your parent to remove you. So that's exactly what we're going to do. So we can just say e.target.add event listener. And it'll be an event.enter frame. Now just call it explode loop. And then if I define that function is going to listen for when it is done. And then when it is done, it's going to remove that object. So function explode loop. Now this function, I'm just going to pull my code up a little bit. Try, at least. So inside this, I say if. So if I'm saying, again, I can use my generic reference of e.target. So I want to find out if target has reached its final frame. Flash has a really slick way of doing that. I can say if e.target.currrentFrame and only put 2 R's, and then it will turn blue. There we go. So e.target.currentFrame is equal to e.target.total frames. So when my current frame is equal to my total frames, that's when I can then remove it. And then I can also remove my event listener as well. Now I'm cheating and using the... On Mac, if you highlight code, hold down Option and drag, it creates a copy of it. I find that's faster than using the clipboard. So I can now say remove. So the full explanation here is when I click on the object, it registers my explode loop. Explode loop checks to see is my current frame equal to my total number of frames. If so, get rid of me and stop listening for whether I'm done or not. And then that's it. Save, run, click, click, click. So you can see they explode very nicely now, disappearing from my screen. In next class, we will look at putting our player on top of the enemy so it looks a little bit better, but that does introduce a few extra issues that we have to confront at that point, and I think we're better off not doing those this evening.